Now we'll get into the scholar-athlete portion of today's program. Our first scholar-athlete is Rachel Hilliard, a senior from Hookstown, Pennsylvania. Rachel is a double major in biology and English, holds a 3.991 cumulative grade point average. I don't know how you do that. She finished 7th overall and first on the team at the Atlantic 10 Championships. Rachel completed the course in 1801 to collect her first all-conference accolade of her career. She was named to the Atlantic 10 Academic All-Conference team. This fall, in her final cross-country campaign, Rachel competed in 5 meets and was UMass top finisher in all 5 meets. She was tabbed the Atlantic 10 Performer of the Week on September 16th after placing 5th out of 125 competitors at the Minuteman Invitational. She earned her second UMass Athlete of the Week recognition of the season on October 14th after placing 5th out of a field of 262 runners at the New England Championships. Our first presenter today is Dr. Lisa Minter, Assistant Professor of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Graduate Program Director of Animal Biotechnology and Biomedical Sciences, and Director of Flow Cytometry Core Facility. Here to present is Dr. Lisa Minter.
So it's a pleasure to be here today, and I will be very professorial because I brought my notes. Okay, so pay attention. I was thinking about some comments that I could share with you about Rachel. It occurred to me that we often use phrases that translate from sports to other areas. So we talk about going the extra mile, or running through the finish line, or taking a victory lap. And I thought, well, as applies to Rachel, she exemplifies these phrases both figuratively and literally. So I will defer to the literal aspect, but I will talk about some of these figurative applications. So I was very privileged to have Rachel in my immunology class in the spring. And this is an upper level undergraduate, first year graduate level class. So it's very rigorous. And one of the components of the grading structure is for the students to work in teams to devise a novel therapeutic. I'm not so interested in having them memorize a bunch of immunology and spit it back to me. I want to know what they can do with it. And so she worked with her team, but as she would spend time coming and talking to me about her project, it was really apparent to me what her level of contribution was and her level of investment. And so she chose to develop a therapeutic, a novel therapeutic to target neuroblastoma. So this is a very aggressive brain cancer. So she and her team devised this 2-prong approach, a therapeutic. So the first thing she did was she had to carefully understand the difference between normal brain cells and tumor brain cells so that she could tell what was different about the surface of the cells and design a way for immune cells to seek out only those tumor cells and destroy them. So this was the first part of her therapeutic approach. So the second part was to understand that tumor cells are smart. This is why they win so much of the time, and that they have a way of talking to the immune cells and sending a stop signal. It's a way that they evade being destroyed by the immune system. So she came up with the great idea to take these special killer cells out of the patients and alter them in a way that they couldn't recognize those stop signals that were being delivered by the tumor cells. Alter them, put them back in the patient so that they could sort of deliver this 1-2 punch. So this is just a small example of her creative thinking, her ability to think outside the box, and also her investment in her own education, her real willingness to go that extra mile to achieve her educational goals here at UMass. So as far as running through the finish line, what does that 3.991 grade point average look like? It means that she's a member of the Commonwealth Honors College, She's been named to the dean's list 6 out of 6 semesters that she has grades to report. She's taken 5 graduate level courses during her tenure here. She's earned an A in 41 out of 42 courses that she has completed. The last course was an A-, all right? She has carried between 18 and 22 credits every single semester that she's been enrolled. And so this is what the finish line is for Rachel. It is a designation as a summa cum laude graduate when she runs through that finish line. And so what does a victory lap look like for Rachel? Well, for someone like her, so accomplished, the sky is really the limit. She has applied for some very outstanding fellowships. She has applied for a Fulbright scholarship where she, if awarded, will study the mechanisms of trypanosome resistance in Uganda livestock. So not only is she someone who is willing to invest in herself, it's clear that she is someone who is willing to invest in the well-being of others. Her victory lap may also look like an invitation to veterinary school, where again she would like to focus on livestock well-being because she knows how interconnected livestock well-being and owner well-being is, and her goals are to improve the lives of livestock owners by making sure that she protects the well-being of their livestock. So I'm pleased to be here. I'm thrilled that Rachel is being recognized for this award. I think she's incredibly deserving. So congratulations, Rachel.
Our next presenter is Coach Julie LaFreniere, head coach of women's cross country and women's track and field. She enters her 28th year at the helm of UMass women's cross country and track and field. Coach Julie LaFreniere.
Don't listen to him. I've only been here about 5 years. Rachel Hilliard. I started off with my recruitment of Rachel. And when I recruit athletes for UMass, I sell UMass academics. And every year it gets easier to sell UMass academics because of our university is just, making news nationally and having a strong national reputation. And the other thing I sell is our team culture. And when I look for people like Rachel who are intelligent, hardworking, that are willing to make a commitment to her sport and also to become the best scholar athlete that she can be. Also looking for leadership skills and accountability and reliability. And Rachel certainly fit everything that I was looking for. During the recruitment process, I Googled Rachel Hilliard, and she's comes from the hills out by Pittsburgh. So an article comes up about her, and I'm reading, and I'm like, oh my God. She bagged a buck, so she went out in the woods out there hunting with a gun and killed this poor animal, and then and then she puts the antlers on her bedroom wall and hangs her medals on it. So I was like, I'm not so sure I want this rifle-bearing young lady out here, but I still pursued. She chose UMass. She had lots of choices over MIT and many other schools. And then she, the final 2 colleges it came down to, UMass and Amherst College, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Amherst College, I mean, what do they have to offer? So our sciences, I just push. I knew she wanted to do research, and I knew she'd be wasting her time across the road there over at Amherst College. Amherst College cannot compare to what we can offer these students academically. And so I kept pushing. And I had a couple of things up my sleeve that I figured I would snag her, because she's a big horse lover. So on her official visit, I drove her over to the horse barns without permission. I just looked like I knew what I was doing, and I dragged this child in there. And there were these really, really big horses in there. And like the size of their heads were like the size of Rachel. And she's over at the stalls kissing and rubbing, and I'm like, oh, let's not get too close, girl. So I think I had another recruit, and the recruit was up against the wall. I don't know if she came or not. I can't remember who it was. But so the tour of the horse barns really hooked her. And so I had her come back because she couldn't make up her mind. I'm like, how can you pick Amherst College over us? This is ridiculous. So her second visit was unofficial, and I was like, I'll really get her now. So I called up Dr. Purdy down in the alpaca barns and told him about Rachel, and he's like, okay, come bring her down. So he was running a seminar. I guess we must have been on spring break or something. We're running a seminar for vet students, people already in vet school. From all over the country, they were up here. And I was pushing animal science, she was interested in biology, and I was like, well, so we show up, they're doing castrations, and that hooked her. So I was like, see what you can do here? And Dr. Purdy was telling her how all the UMass animal science students are doing so much better at vet school because they have all this hands-on experience here. And so she finally committed to UMass, and I was psyched. So then she comes to school, and she's a person, she's gonna get better. Well, she stayed about the same that first year, and then she was like fuming because she didn't get much faster than she was in high school. And then her sophomore year in the fall, some girl that ran for Duquesne that ran in the hills with her, it was a rival, beat her at 8-10s, and she was livid. And I was like, well, Rachel, if you would focus a little more on your athletics, I mean, you're taking too many classes. You're burning. I mean, this kid she's also a peer mentor in the honors program. She's doing everything, and she's doing more than I've ever seen anyone do. Academically, athletically, she's competing 3 seasons for us. And it's like, I want you to do really well in the academics, but you need to back off just a little bit. Do you really need to take 23 credits a semester? I mean, this is craziness. So I think she listened, but half the time she doesn't listen to me because she's such a hard worker that she thinks that she's not doing enough athletically, okay? I'm not working hard enough. And I had to explain to her, you are working hard enough, because I check in with the athletes all the time. My legs are heavy, my legs are heavy. It's like, your legs are always heavy because you are working too hard. You're not recovering. Recovery is just as important as the hard work that you put in. But she just wants to go hard, hard, hard. And so then she's like, no, we're just not doing enough. I need to go out and run more hills. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's like, you need to listen to me and calm down. And she really started to take off last year, both cross, indoor, and outdoor track. This year in cross country, what you need to realize is the Northeast is a mecca for distance running. And a great majority of your best distance runners are in the Northeast. So she did she was 5th at the New England Championships. She came in 7th at the A10 conference meet. Great competition. She led the team the entire season. At the Northeast Regional meet, it's the NCAA prelims for nationals. We're down at Van Cortlandt Park. They take 2 teams per region in the country to go to nationals and only 4 individuals. They have 5 at-large bids to make it to nationals. The Northeast received 3 of the 5 at-large bids because of how strong our region is. And Rachel placed 33rd, and I know you probably don't think that sounds like a lot, but 33rd in that field was fantastic. Her time is 6,000 meters, 21:12. I mean, she represented UMass very, very well. She beat a lot of top distance runners at that meet. And there were over, she was 33rd, and there were over 400 women running on that course that day. And so she's tough in the classroom. She's tough with us out representing UMass 3 seasons. And she also takes care of her team. And also as a peer mentor, she helps show the younger students at UMass the ropes. And she's also, just to give you one more example of her academic, okay, she took the 5 graduate level classes. Well, this fall I hear her talking, and she's taking a mechanical engineering course because it sounded interesting and fun. So I wish her the best, and I'm glad I have 2 more seasons left with Rachel. But Rachel, well, I guess do I call her up, or? Okay, Rachel, if you want to come up. Is he going to award this?
Well, we got a picture taken. So watch me over here.
Oh,
Come on over here first. We'll give this to you first and take a picture. You get the middle.
Well deserved.
All yours. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you to Coach Julie and Dr. Minter. I hope I hope I'm not quite as crazy as I may have sounded from that. But thank you so much to everyone for inviting me back again, and thank you very much for this incredible award. Before I came to college, I had no idea that any of this would ever be possible. For one thing, I had no idea that I would even be coming to UMass. I'm from, as Julie said, I'm from a very small town in western Pennsylvania, a little bit west of Pittsburgh. And most of the students from my high school don't even attend college, let alone compete at a Division I school. And so before I had talked to Julie, I didn't even know if that was really an option. I knew that I wanted to go to veterinary school, but I was convinced that to do that, I had to go to a small college, something that was considered extremely prestigious or that had already gotten a lot of students into the schools I was looking at. But what I didn't realize was that UMass fits that description as well. And so coming here, I knew it was a good academic fit. And after seeing the team and meeting all the girls, I knew it would be a great fit athletically too. UMass has given me the opportunity not just to be a student or to be an athlete, but to truly be a student athlete. And most people, when they hear the term student athlete, kind of forget about the student part and just concentrate on that you play a sport. And that's a huge part of my life, and that's a lot of times what my life centers around, but it's not everything. At UMass, the coaches realize this, and that's one of the reasons that I chose this school, is because Coach Julie, Coach Jackson are so understanding and so supportive of everything that I have to do, both for my sport, but also to succeed in the rest of my life, because as we know, a lot of student athletes don't go on to become professionals. At least for running, there's not a whole lot of money to be made after college, unfortunately. So I knew I had to find something else to do with the next 60 to 80 years. And UMass has been a great way to move on to advance what I want to do in the world. I've had a ton of incredible experiences here. I've gotten to take some great classes with some faculty that are the top in the country. I've been able to do research, which was a big part of why I came here. actually in immunology, which Dr. Minter was speaking about. And along with that, I've also got the chance to compete on one of the best teams I've ever been a part of, and that's the cross country and track teams here at UMass. I love the competition. I love being able to race the top people in the country. And I'm also lucky to have Julie and all the other girls on the team as friends and mentors, because they've really helped me grow these last 4 years. It hasn't always been easy. This morning, I woke up, I was at lift before the sun had even come up, and then we had a 7-mile run afterwards, and then I've been in classes since then. And even for our competitions, a lot of time you'll find me and the other girls in the corner of the bleachers studying for an exam. Every year, our A10 championships is during finals week in the spring. And so I remember my sophomore year, we were down in Charlotte, North Carolina for the A10s, and I raced, and then we immediately got on a plane, and I had an organic chemistry exam the next morning. So we flew back in around 11 o'clock at night, and then I woke up, studied on the plane, and woke up the next morning and took my organic chemistry final. So yeah, stories like that just tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a student athlete. It's definitely a balancing act, but I love it so much, and I wouldn't be able, I think I would probably go crazy if I didn't have that balance of athletics and academics. And there's a quote I really love by Dara Torres, who's a professional swimmer, and she said that swimming is not her whole life, but it makes her life whole. And that's how I feel about running and being a student athlete here at UMass. It's not all about the athletics, it's not all about the academics, it's about the balance of both of them, and that's really what's made these last 4 years incredible for me. So thank you very much.